For any type of competitor, do you feel embarrassed? Yeah. I don't feel offended, by what was done. I don't feel, offended by having this type of conversation. Like I said, I'm a realist. And the first thing I said to myself coming home, I said, you keep playing games like that, bro, and it's going to be a permanent change.
All right, Joel, you just heard it. Cam is approaching his starting job like it could potentially be in jeopardy after that beatdown. Of course, Jimmy G, former Patriots quarterback, wasn't good. Stephen A., should his job be in jeopardy as the starter?
It should. It should. And I don't say that pleasantly because I'm rooting for Cam Newton, but he has looked horrible. In his last 4 games, he's thrown 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. The reads are wrong. Going through his progressions, obviously not quick enough. His throws are not accurate, which is something that I've always lamented. And I do understand, and to put things in its proper context, let's all remember that particularly with N'Keal Harry, who for some reason can't get open to save his life, once he went down with the ankle injury, that left Cam Newton with Julian Edelman, Demir Byrd, and Jacoby Myers. Not Jacoby and Myers, the law firm, Jacoby Myers. That's the name of the receiver, okay? You don't have much to work with, and we understand that. But here's the flip side to it. Again, there were throws that he made where it didn't seem like he understood the offense on Sunday. He was making the wrong play. He wasn't reacting quick enough. Health-wise, he didn't seem on top of his game. All of these things are true. And then I want to bring this into this proper perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody to understand the significance of all of this. Tom Brady, on the same day that Cam was stinking up Foxborough, Tom Brady was in Tampa putting on the show, or Vegas, I think it was Vegas, putting on the show, 369 yards passing, et cetera, et cetera. On that same day, on that same field, Jimmy Garoppolo, who was supposed to be Tom Brady's successor, was out playing Cam Newton. And on that same day, the Carolina Panthers, even though they lost to the Saints, had a quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater who doesn't look bad. Credit to you, because Max Kellerman always brought him. He's always been a supporter of Teddy Bridgewater. So I'm talking about 3 quarterbacks all looking better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton was supposed to be in Carolina. Matt Rule and the new organization said, hey, we don't want him anymore. And they let him go, even though I don't like the way they treated him. But you sit there and sign Teddy Bridgewater to a $63 million 3-year contract. He's looking good. They're 3-3 playing 500. Boy, they've got a better record than New England. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo. He comes back. He's looking better than Cam Newton. You got Tom Brady that's looking like an MVP candidate. It ain't just Cam Newton that's looking bad. It's Bill Belichick that's looking bad. And oh, by the way, let me ask you this, and I'll leave this to y'all. Think about this, Max. When have you ever seen Bill Belichick walk over to a player on the sideline and pat him on the shoulder or whatever, or pat him on the leg after benching him, like looking sympathetic towards a player? When does that happen? Take your time, I'll wait. Take your time.
Well, Tom Brady never got benched, so I'm not used to seeing that.
Listen, but other players have. I have never seen Bill Belichick appear. Again, I don't know. I'm only going by what I saw. That tells me. I have never seen Bill Belichick appear to look sympathetic and feel sorry for one of his players until Sunday.
I noticed that.
So what does that mean?
I'll tell you what that means. He knows he needs Cam. That's what that means. That's why I don't think you bench Cam. And I'll tell you something else. They started the season with a win against the Dolphins, which now looks like a quality win. Recall, Tom Brady and Julian Edelman, who was a year younger last year, like Cam is working with maybe less even than Brady was working with, and with no continuity, no knowledge of the offense. He just kind of walks in the middle of the offseason trying to learn everything. Beat that same team, that Dolphins team, that the Patriots really needed to beat last year and couldn't. I thought, okay, that's a nice win. Followed that up with a loss against Seattle, and I know it's no moral victories, right? I disagree in that game. That was one hell of a game by both quarterbacks. Cam looked like he belonged, like right there with Russell Wilson. It was unclear to me who the better quarterback was. That's how good I thought Cam looked. I loved that game. And then he had a bad game against the Raiders. But they won the game. And I thought, wow, even when Cam's not as sharp as he was early, they led by Cam, they won. And it turns out that's a pretty quality win against the Raiders too, isn't it? And then he got COVID and missed the Chiefs game. And then since he's come back from COVID, he hasn't been good. But who knows when he contracted COVID? Right? Might that be an explanation for the performance against the Raiders where he led well but didn't play well? Bill Belichick Belichick is answering questions about whether he thinks Cam is suffering from lingering effects of that disease. And I don't know, and I'm not looking for excuses for Cam, but I am looking for explanations. How does a guy go from looking so good early and ascending to looking so bad recently? Recall Jimmy Garoppolo. Stephen A., you just brought up Garoppolo. He got yanked in that Dolphins massacre against the 49ers. He had a bad ankle. There was something wrong, and you could tell there's something wrong with Then he got healthy, and he looked great. Right, he looked great. And if anything, I know the Patriots have had defections or opt-outs off the defense and stuff, but we've seen the Patriots defense look good this year. And Garoppolo, a healthy Garoppolo, looked great. I think it's possible that Cam is not 100% right now, but even if he is, Belichick knows this dude is my only choice. That's what the pat on the back to Cam is. That's what the sympathy is about. My star is hitched to his wagon. I need this dude to be the best version of what he can be. You can't bench him yet.
Yo, we could ask the question, should his job be in jeopardy? He keep playing like this, his job is gone.
No
it's
question.
going to go to Jarrett Stidham. Listen, you cannot justify what Cam has done the last 2 weeks. And I'm with Stephen A. Like, I want to see Cam have success in what he did early in this season. But could I just interject this into the conversation? Could we be seeing why a bunch of teams were afraid to sign him? Is it something that people knew before it came out publicly about Cam? Would he wear down at this point of the season? And Max, I think you bring up a great point about COVID as well. Is that a part of what Cam is suffering with? Listen, for as bad as it has looked, it's 3 interceptions and 15 passes, y'all. It's 1 per 5, right? And we thinking about all of the things that could have transpired for him to look the way he looks. It's justifiable to think that way. Like, did this adversely affect him in a way that we did not know? But now we get on to the field, and when you ask the question, should his job be in jeopardy? The answer is yes, because this job is predicated on Cam being Superman. We talked about no talent. We talked about guys that couldn't get open. We talked about how Cam could come in and make this a successful offense based on his athletic ability. This wasn't about Cam's throwing on. Stephen A., you and I have lamented, and Molly as well, that wasn't nothing wrong with Tom Brady being able to throw the football. So I'm going to give you 3 things. You don't have guys that can create space. If you're dealing with Cam Newton, who may be having adverse reaction to COVID, or just skills diminishing based on what the season is and how long it is, and then you have a team that has the amount of opt-outs they have defensively, what else would you do outside of benching the quarterback and seeing what you have instead of?
I appreciate those points. I would say this. There's one of 2 ways of looking at this. On the one hand, Cam is playing so bad that we need to, that's like, is he suffering from the after effects of a deadly disease? That's how bad he's playing. On the other hand, he really did just have that disease, right? Like, that it may be, and we know people in the prime of their lives get COVID and then have all kinds of weird after effects, glaucoma, problems with their feet, all over the body. We just don't know enough about it. So the fact that this dude in fact tested positive for it, in fact had it, and is now playing like this when early in the season he was playing well, either he's playing so bad we're looking for an explanation, or in fact there's a good explanation.
Well, you can look at it that way. I can look at it this way. Unfortunately, I've seen him throw this way before, long before COVID existed. I have seen Cam Newton throw this badly. I have seen him at times, though, not the year he was with North Turner. But there have been many times in his career where he has not been the most accurate passer.
But 15 passes with 3 interceptions?
Well, I'm not talking about the interceptions per se. I'm talking about how he looks throwing the football, where his elbow is positioned, how his head jerks back, how slow his release appears to be at times, how he short yardage passes in certain situations and throws too long in others. The inaccuracies I have seen before. That's my point.
Inconsistencies, yeah.
I mean, he also has missed a ton of practice
But
time
yeah,
as well,
that's
so
true.
that
And I
could
said
have
that
affected it.
yesterday.
And this is obviously
that yesterday,
a new
right.
offense, new team, the whole deal. All right,
Right.
the Pats have thrown 3 TDs, fewest in the NFL, against 11 interceptions, most in the NFL. Not good. It's gone from bad to worse in Dallas, fellas. Jerry gets tested.